Nilqakom għal programm ieħor Instapoint miegħi Rodrik dan huwa l-64 programm tagħna. Nittama li qed insabu ferm tajbin bħal-dejjem. L-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ qed tiċċelebra 10 snin ta' ħidma u dan ta' fuq grazzi għal dan l-istess programm Instapoint. L-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ hija ferm attiva wkoll fil-Kunsill tal-Ewropa, naturalment fil-qasam taż-żgħażagħ. Biex impoġġikom ftit f'kuntest, l-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ hija membru fi ftehim parzjali jgħidulu fejn nippromovu u niffaċilitaw il-mobilità taż-żgħażagħ fil-Ewropa. Tafu intom, speċjalment iż-żgħażagħ li segwu dan il-programm li sirtu tapprezzaw aktar il-mobilità fl-Ewropa, esperjenzi li intom tistgħu tagħmlu f'pajjiżi differenti fl-Ewropa. It-tieni nett, bħala Aġenzija Żgħażagħ membri wkoll nirrappreżentaw lil Malta f'laqgħat statutorji jgħidulhom li jsiru darbtejn fis-sena, ovvjament fil-qasam taż-żgħażagħ dejjem. L-aħħar iżda mhux l-inqas il-kap eżekuttiv tal-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ, Ms Mirjam Tewma, hija President ta' Kumitat taż-Żgħażagħ fih dan l-istess Kunsill tal-Ewropa. Prosser inħalli f'idejn Ms Antje Rothemund u ħatajdilna iktar informazzjoni fuq il-kollaborazzjoni tal-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ fil-Kunsill tal-Ewropa. Ibqgħu hemmhekk. Nilqakom għat-tieni parti tal-programm u kif għedtilkom ser nilqakom mal-mistiedna tal-lum. Hello, Ms Antje, welcome to our program. How are you, first of all?
Oh, hello, Roderick. Good to see you. Well, I'm fine. Thank you very much. We had big rain last night here in Strasbourg in France, so the temperatures are a little bit more bearable than the week before, so it's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. In Malta here, it is very, very, very sunny and very hot on the contrary. First of all, before we begin the interview, can you kindly tell us something about yourself?
Yes, my name is Antje Rothemund. I'm the head of the Youth Department in the Council of Europe. This is not the European Union. It's rather the organization of the European Court on Human Rights. We have our seat in Strasbourg, in France, and we have 47 member states. So all 27 member states of the European Union are part of my organization, plus 20 more. So we are reaching actually from Ireland to the very east of the Russian Federation, and from Iceland to the very south of the Mediterranean, including Malta. And my name, I said already, but I am a youth worker by profession. So I have been in youth work for quite some years, as a volunteer, as a paid youth worker, and now as a manager in organizing youth policy and youth work.
Thank you for that useful information. And I will go to ask you the very first question of the interview. It's interesting for us to know, also for the youth organizations following us, what does the European Youth Foundation do for these youth organizations?
Probably I should say a couple of words about my work altogether, which is the youth department. I'm heading the youth department of the Council of Europe, of which the European Youth Foundation is one part.
Okay.
But we also have the European Youth Centers in Strasbourg and Budapest, which are training institutions, meeting places for youth organizations, for young people, and for what we call the community of practice, so people that work with young people, where we try to have on the European level a very sort of active exchange of good youth work practice, training people, and also bring human rights and democracy issues, which are at the heart of the Council of Europe, into youth policy and youth work. And both the European Youth Foundation and the European Youth Centers are instruments together with our co-management. So the Council of Europe is the only organization, international organization worldwide, that actually invites young people into the institution. And we have an advisory council on youth, which is doing much more than advising. They are actually making the decisions together with representatives from our member states on what should happen in these European Youth Centers, and also how the grants of the European Youth Foundation are shared or are allocated to the project. The European Youth Foundation is a grant-giving mechanism, and I think it can be very interesting for Maltese youth organizations or youth initiatives to see whether there are projects that could be financially supported by our foundation. What is specific about the Youth Foundation as compared to other big funders is that we also fund small projects, and that we also fund nearly exclusively projects that are youth-led. So projects that are prepared, run, and implemented by young people. And I could imagine that quite some organizations in Malta would be interested in applying, for example, for our pilot projects grants. These are grants for smaller projects with a maximum of 15,000 euro, which can be quite a lot if you work on local level. We also have, of course, in the foundation grants for bigger projects of international dimension, or work plans for youth organizations which receive higher grants. But I think what is important and what is really key to the Youth Foundation is that it's youth-led projects we are funding. So the Youth Foundation is made to create direct access for youth organizations and youth initiatives.
And this is such an interesting point, because thanks to those grants and projects, not only we can target the youth organizations' needs, but we are giving opportunities to young people to lead, to be the leaders, right?
Exactly, and we know very well that learning does not only take place in school. So everything that happens outside of the formal environment is creating competencies and skills with young people, which are extremely important life skills for their life too, but also for their employment later on. It's extremely important to learn how to manage a team, how to plan a project, how to implement it, how to make a budget, how to achieve objectives that are being set with such a youth exchange project, or for example. And we know that the work of young people together as peers is extremely educational as well for the young people that are involved in that.
Exactly. Another interesting question is, and in fact we invited you as well, because through this program we are celebrating 10 years of Aġenzija Żgħażagħ. And we would like to ask you, as Malta in the youth sector, how it has collaborated within the Council of Europe. Maybe tell us a bit your views.
Well, first of all, congratulations to the Aġenzija Żgħażagħ for 10 years of really fantastic work. I think your agency is an excellent example how a national agency for youth can create this sort of link between youth policy and youth work, and can be the bridge between young people and government policy. Because the agency is government run, but because of its youth work outreach is very close to the young people, and it's also an example of good practice for some of our other member states to look at your agency and see how you are doing things. So congratulations to all those who build it up, who keep it running, and who are doing this good work. When you ask me what it is for the Council of Europe, I think it's several things. First of all, it's a very reliable partner because the agency has always been very present and also very cooperative in implementing Council of Europe values, also in Malta and with your own activities. And as you know, we work mainly in the field of democracy development, of access to rights for young people, youth participation, youth work, and an international organization in itself is not really operational if we don't have partners on national and local level who actually work with us very closely in implementing these policies. And the agency is one of these partners, and we are very happy to have you there. Secondly, I think the agency has also been a bridge for Europe into Malta, but also for Maltese young people into Europe, because Malta is not a very big country. I think the way to go from local level to European level is much shorter than in big countries where sometimes you have to go through different layers of coordination and communication. So the agency has enabled a lot of young people to participate in European events, and at the same time also has shown with events hosted in Malta to a lot of European youth workers and young people the good work that is being done in Malta, and also share the culture and the traditions and the beauties of your country. And thirdly, I think we have a couple of very prominent Maltese ambassadors in our field of youth, and we are very happy, particularly at the moment, that we have with Miriam Tiuma, who is the head of the agency, also the chairperson of our European Steering Committee on Youth, and last year of our Joint Council on Youth, and with the contribution of the director of your agency, Malta is extremely well represented on European level in our organization, but is also a huge supporter in moving Council of Europe youth policy forward, because your director is not only very committed, but also very competent in the field, and we appreciate this an awful lot.
And the time is up, but I would like you to thank you not only for your kind words. It serves as motivation for us at the agency to keep on raising the bar, but thank you as well for this interview. It was a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you for letting me share this with you, and all the best for your good work. After the pandemic, I saw the book that your agency published about youth work in Malta during the lockdown and the pandemic, and I was very impressed about all the many things that are going on, also on Gozo and on the main island. So I hope that you are continuing this good work, and hope to see you soon somewhere in Europe.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon too. Have a nice day.
Nilqakom għall-aħħar parti tal-programm Instapoint fejn kif nagħmel dejjem nilenka xi ftit punti li ħarġu mill-intervista, ser nikkwota b'reżatt lil Ms Antje Rothemund fejn qalet illi l-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ hija aġenzija eċċellenti għal dawk iż-żgħażagħ li jkollhom bżonn is-servizzi relatati. Apparti minn hekk, Ms Antje Rothemund qalet illi l-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ hija ferm preżenti fil-Kunsill tal-Ewropa fis-settur taż-żgħażagħ. Qalet ukoll illi bħala aġenzija żgħażagħ hija l-bridġ għal dawk iż-żgħażagħ Maltin u Għawċin illi jixtiequ jipparteċipaw jew ikollhom diversi esperjenzi fl-Ewropa. Fl-aħħar iżda żgur mhux l-inqas kellha kliem ta' tifħir lejn il-kap eżekuttiv tal-Aġenzija Żgħażagħ Miriam Tiuma fejn qalet mhux biss li hija kommessa fix-xogħol illi tagħmel imma anke kompetenti. U fuq dan l-aħħar nota jiena nagħlaq il-programm tal-lum, nirringrazzjakom tal-li dejjem issegwuna, għal aktar informazzjoni dejjem tistgħu titlu fil-midja soċjali tagħna illi qed jidhru proprju hawnhekk, u nirringrazzjakom għal darb'oħra. Niltaqa' magħkom il-ħamis fil-5:30. Grazzi u nsellmilkom.